Tour de Suisse just finished the last preparation race, except nationals before the Tour de France. Oscar Onley finished third on GC, won stage, and had a lot of other good positions. He posts power data. Now, he actually is an animal, and so it's good to see what numbers they're doing. So, for the weight, we're going to say 62 kilos. It could be less, it could be more. And before you go on the Shimano power meters, even if they're 10% out, the numbers are still bananas. So let's just relax on this whole stuff, and we can look at VAM. So anyway, this is stage one. It was actually a really hectic stage. So the two main climbs are kind of a loop in between, but in this valley it was like carnage because there was no one left. You can see like straight out the gate, 400 watts, 10 minutes. So that's about 6.8 watts per kilo. So yeah, pretty strong straight out the gates. A lot of accelerations, and then actually like this is where the break formed around here, so you can see it's still 300 normalized, so not like super easy. And then it was like pretty on the pedals all day, like 280 normalized, nothing crazy for him, but not like full tapper tapper easy. And then last climb 9.5 minutes, 430 watts, that's like just under 7 watts per kilo. So yeah, again, pretty strong, 1900 gram, 9%. So, you know, he could weigh a bit more because you think probably 1900 gram, 9% in the wheels at 21k an hour. Maybe it's a little bit less. But anyway, still pretty strong. And then descent, again, you can see like 15 minutes, 360 normalized downhill. Like it's not easy. It's a wet descent. So yeah, like day one, numbers good, but not like full crazy. I mean, if you look on the left here, 5 minutes, 451 watts, 10 minutes, 440 watts. Yeah, it's still quite a lot actually. I don't know why the 9.5 minutes, 440 actually, yeah, that's like way over 7. So yeah, that is pretty crazy. Again, just if you think the numbers are like if you want to know how crazy it is, just try around 900 pound and 9% for a bit. It's so hard. It's like actually mental. So anyway, stage one, hard but not like full crazy. Stage two, this actually a pretty easy day. 290 normalized for Onley, so really not much. Average 250, maybe higher than you'd think, but for like a sprint-ish stage. But you can see the break goes early. It's like Mara Schmidt and some others in the break. 260 normalized, 230 average, nothing too crazy. Again, climbs like it's just kind of 300 watts ish, so around 5 watts per kilo, a little bit less. Like 315 would be just over 5 watts per kilo if you're 62. And then they've run into the line again, it's like 9 minutes, 350 watts. He's probably not being super efficient. You probably could have done less, but he probably wanted to be at the front. So again, like nothing crazy. We look on the left here, the power data, 5 minutes, 372. That was just on the steep climb when they caught the break, and there were actually quite a lot of counter attacks. So yeah, pretty hard, but that's like 6 for 5 minutes. So for him, that's like tapper tapper, just so easy. So yeah, stage two, not much to report on. Stage three, this was Splugen Pass. No, yeah. So what stage three? What was this actually? I think he's also got his stages the wrong way around. So we might actually have to. Oh no, we're all good. We're all good. Relax. So this is an uphill finish. I remember this now. Quinn Simmons won solo. Oscar Onley lost the sprint to for second, but did I guess came third in this second in the sprint. So this stage, I was gonna do one on Quinn Simmons alone. His numbers are bananas. Maybe I will crack one out. It's a bit late now. Again, nothing too crazy on the first climb. Then they descend and then they go up the second climb again. It's like it's not too hard. 12 minutes, about just under 6 watts per kilo. Last part gets somewhat harder. You can see like getting 6.6 in the wheels, 24k now. It's quick, but on 7%, like seriously quick. But again, like in the wheels, it's not mega hard. You can see heart rate's like not that high for him relatively. This climb, they then started to really launch, and you can see like big launch here, 700 watts. Again, looking at heart rate, it's always interesting to see like how where the efforts were. Obviously, it flattens off here, 40k an hour, so it's always going to be easy. But yeah, the first 5 minutes of this, 412 average, normalized 430. So even on a short effort, it's like not super. It's quite spiky. And then if we want to look at the sprint, we'll go into the power curve. Uh, yeah, 37 seconds, 666 watts. That's quite a lot. That's like, yeah, just 10 watts per kilo. Again, a minute, 600 watts. If it shows the finish line, it means it's all come in the last part. And I assume the last 15-second sprint was 800 watts. So pretty hard because if we actually look at the very final effort, it was from the bottom, like they launched really early, 420 watts for 3 minutes. Yeah, so again, just less than 7 watts per kilo for 3 minutes, which isn't crazy, but then we're obviously missing this last little kick as well. So if we go on if we go on power curve for kind of that, it's like 2 minutes 50, 520 watts, and that's when you're like, oh wow, that is a lot of watts. That's way over 8 watts per kilo. So yeah, pretty impressive numbers, and not many people left in the final. More impressive, the Quinn Simmons numbers, they were crazy. This was Splugen Pass. This is where Almeida went bananas. So again, this is like the first long climb of the race. And what you'll actually see here that's really interesting is how hard they went through this town. Now, people actually got spat. Like, Fortunato lost a lot of time today. But we can look at heart rate, 174. He did 400 watts for 5 minutes. Now, I don't know what happened here. Maybe got caught by a crash or because some of it you're like, oh, is it technical? You're like, it's not mega technical. Like, there's obviously decelerations out this corner, he's banging out like over 1,000 watts, but 400 watts for 5 minutes on the flat, it's not, you can see it's hard. Like, he is trying because his heart rate's going up to 172 and his max is probably like, that was almost his max of the day, actually. So, yeah, not easy in the running. If you actually look at the whole running, 270 average, 300 normalized. It's not impossible, but it's not like as easy as this part here, for example, you're like, that's probably what it would be, 240 normalized, but actually just 55k an hour. It's obviously the brakes is people are really trying to get in the brake. So Splugen past the whole thing, it's kind of weird. You can see it's a bit of a stepped climb. If we look at the whole thing here, the numbers aren't that wild. 335 average, 47 minutes. You're like, 5.2, not very impressive. It does go up to altitude, but again, it's like realistically the bits that were really hard. UAE paced this part particularly hard, 6 minutes, 8%. Again, 1800 RAM, very, very impressive. 6.6, 6.7 in the wheels. And then this top part here is again at altitude, and this is where Almeida went absolutely bananas and just rode everyone off the wheel. You can see it's very, very spiky. Here he's obviously trying to follow Almeida because like in the wheels you can see the spikes, like no one rides like that, and then after that it's a bit more steady. So last 10 minutes you can see the C power equivalent 405 watts, so again way over 6.5 ish. So yeah, pretty impressive. Sorry, sometimes I'm getting them confused. 405 is about 6.5. I probably should have put his weight in this for this video, but anyway, 1700 VAM, that starts to be like, oh, it's not actually full crazy VAM. So the final part, Splugen Pass, 7%, 23 minutes, 370 watts. I mean, you do have to be aware that the top of this is 2,000 meters, the bottom is 1,500, so there's a good portion where you're over 1,700 meters, which is always going to have an effect. It's also not the steepest climb either with downhill, so which is why the VAM is not too crazy. Then in the finish, I believe he won the sprint behind Almeida, so 15 seconds, 8. We're not actually going to find what the sprint was because he did more power before it. So anyway, hard stage, probably not as hard as you thought it would be. And if we actually look at the other data, it's kind of interesting that he couldn't stay with him. So we're now next day, again, not the hardest stage until the very final, 360 watts, 16 minutes. Again, 5.6, 5.7, nothing crazy. Same here, drafting climb, 5.6%, now going 25k an hour, so nothing too crazy. If we look at the whole stage, it's like 3,200 kJs, kind of what you expect. First time up this climb, it's a super steep climb. I've definitely watched back because actually it's pretty interesting. This is where Gregoire had a real disaster. And yeah, 400 watts for 13 minutes. So again, 6.7, 6.6 watts per kilo, I think, roughly, for the first time up it for 13 minutes. So again, like crazy, 1,800 RAM, 10%. Yeah, it's pretty hard. But then we have the descent and the valley. Again, not that hard for him, to be honest. 230 average. He's be properly recharged then to go again. And when he goes again, whoa, 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 the numbers are big this time. So just take the last 16.5 minutes, 411 average, 1,900 RAM. Again, we're getting like 6.6, 6.7 for the 62 kilos. If we look at the peak 5 minutes, 430 watts. So he actually launched earlier. 12% here, 2,000 BAM. That is a lot. So just under 7 watts per kilo there for 5 minutes. Very, very, very impressive. But he actually won the stage. And the numbers here, I think, are hard to get your head round. He did 21 seconds at 864 watts at the end of this race. And it wasn't easy either. So yeah, very, very impressive. Cracked out over 1,000 watts. And he's a small lad, 20 seconds, 880. Like, that's actually mad impressive because they didn't flute around, as Sean Kelly would say. Like before The last 200 meters, he's still doing 400 watts. Like this part here, 410 watts. They're not messing around, and that's why it's so impressive. So yeah, very, very impressive ride. I think he lost his head here, stage 6. This was the one Jordi Meus won. Not much to report on, to be honest. It's like, yeah, they did some numbers up the climbs. I mean, 1500 VAM is actually quite a lot, but in the wheels, it's like, yeah, not too many watts. Sometimes that's when you think maybe the power meter is wrong because you're like 1500 VAM. I thought it'd be a bit more than that, but anyway, 1500 VAM for 23 minutes, and then the rest of it, tapper tapper, 50k an hour, 240 average, heart rate 130. You can see the heart rate as well, like the peaks was only 168. So it's coming down as he's fatiguing, but still, nothing too crazy to report on. And then we got 2 stages left, which are, in my opinion, the most impressive stages. So yeah, break formation, nothing, none of this. 300 normalized, again, not easy. I mean, we're getting close to 5 watts per kilo normalized here, just standard. But anyway, not much to report on. You can just see it's like pretty hard all day. Like the heart's beating quite a lot, 130, but it's not like fully crazy. So yeah, I'd say actually probably harder than you'd expect it to be. In my head, definitely like here on these short climbs, he's doing like 10 minutes, 400 normalized, just at 40k an hour. So it's pretty spiky as well. So actually pretty horrific. And I think that's kind of underrated. Like I gloss over that, but actually that's not easy. And that is what's really going to sap your legs. Then he just bangs out 350 watts. 10 minutes up this climb, no stress, no stress. But let's just carry on a bit. So we can see here 3,700 kJs, hits the second to last climb, just bangs out 400 watts for 14 minutes, just no fatigue. That's the one thing you notice, like, obviously, they just don't really get tired in the stage race, which I do think is kind of expected because, like, even I'd say, like, I'm pretty terrible at cycling compared to these lot, and I don't really get that much tired in, like, a 9-day stage race, for example. So it's kind of not surprising they don't, but like obviously the racing is relatively harder for them. And then yeah, the last 10 minutes, 440. That's a lot of watts. That's so many watts, 440. So you can see on stage 1 he did 10 minutes 440, and now he's doing the same, and has had some big spikes here. So we actually get the full power file because he uploaded a lot. But at the end there's no privacy zone, so last 33 seconds 800 watts. Again, like that's a lot of watts, even fresh for someone 62 kilos at the end of the stage. It's pretty wild. And again, cracks out over 1,000 watts again. So seriously impressive doing 440 watts, like 2,000 VAM on 9% is absolutely wild. It's so fast, 22k an hour on 9%. Like most people, I don't know, just have a shopping bike, can't average 22 on the flat. So to do that up 9%, crazy stuff. So again, very impressive file. And that came after a big like a big day out beforehand. So yeah, super impressive. Last day, uphill TT, and this is where you just think, yeah, these guys they're good at riding a bike. Last day, 28 minutes, 413 watts. Boom. Let's actually get that in the calculator. 413 divided by 62. We'll see what the answer is. 6.7. So yeah, it's a lot of watts. 28 minutes, 6.7. Maybe it's a little bit less because you look at the VAM and you think, it could be 6.5 because it's actually quite steep. Anyway, end of the day, they're going quick. Seriously quick. 10%, 18.5k an hour on the final day. Yeah, very impressive. And he still had a little kick towards the end. Last 20 seconds, almost 600 watts. So yeah, mad impressive ride from Onley. You can see all the numbers, like they're just crazy. He's got a good kick. He's got good 10-minute power. Maybe not as good on the longer stuff. Spoog and pass at altitude, not where you'd maybe think him to be. But at the end of the day, he bangs it all out. And the last thing that I really want to mention is the heat. Again, an underrated thing. They did this all, and it was pretty hot. You can see it started at 35 degrees on his Garmin. Obviously, it's probably left in the sun, but probably a lot of this was 29, 30 degrees going up climbs. Yeah, it's very impressive. I think it's something that's underrated is their ability in the heat. Obviously, it helps because they're mega skinny, but he's in like a full TT skin suit as well, which is surprised by. I thought they might cut the sleeves off because it's the race organizer skin suit. But yeah, mad impressive ride from Oscar Onley. And yeah, that's kind of the numbers you're going to be doing to finish on the podium in a World Tour race just before Tour de Suisse. So anyway, cheers for watching. Hope you did enjoy this video. See you in the next one.